The spring of 1889 in Seattle had been beautiful. There had been little rain and temperatures were in the 70s. Unfortunately, the unusually good weather proved to be disastrous, as the dry condition conspired with the handful of other elements to allow for the worst fire in city history. On the afternoon of June 6, 1889, John Back, a Swedish assistant in Victor Claremont's woodworking shop at the corner of First Avenue and Madison Avenue, was heating glue over a gasoline fire. Sometime after 2:15, the glue boiled over, caught fire, and spread to the floors, which were covered by wood chips and turpentine. He tried to put the fire out with water, but that only served to tint the turpentine and spread the fire further. Everyone got out of the building safely, and the fire department got to the fire by 2:45 p.m. The fire burned until 3 a.m. When it was done, the damage was enormous. 120 acres, or 25 city blocks, had been destroyed. 5,000 men lost their jobs. The city estimated its losses at over 8 million, but it could have been high as 20 million. There was only one casualty reported, a boy named James Goyne. However, there were fatalities during the cleanup process, and an estimated 1 million rodents were killed. The original Tacoma Narrows bridge was a suspension bridge. Construction started in 1938 and was completed on July 1940. But 4 months after the bridge completed, on the morning of November 7, 1940, the bridge collapsed on 11 a.m. The only casualty of the disaster is a dog named Tubby.
These are some of the most amazing pictures ever recorded by a newsreel. The actual collapse of the world's third largest suspension bridge. Only a 35-mile-an-hour wind is blowing, but this apparently sets up a rhythmic swinging of the bridge, which increases with each swing. Finally, the swinging road and the suspension cables give way and plunge into the water below. Fortunately, the only casualties were a car stalled on the bridge and a dog.
On April 13, 1949 at 11:55 a.m., a 7.1 magnitude earthquake occurs in western Washington, centered between Olympia and Tacoma. The damage of the earthquake was $25 million, which is roughly $248 million in today's money. 8 were killed and many were injured. The 1965 Puget Sound earthquake is one of Washington's lesser-known earthquakes. The damage cost of the earthquake was $12.5 million, which is roughly $96 million in today's money. 3 people were killed by falling debris in Duwamish Valley, and 4 others died from heart attacks. The 1980 Mount St. Helens eruption occurred on May 18, 1980 at 8:32 a.m. This caused $1.1 billion in property damage. The ash traveled as far as to Oklahoma. This is Mount St. Helens before the eruption, and this is after the eruption. It is an amazing difference. November 25th, 1990 was just a normal day. On November 24th, workers began to notice that the bridge was about to fall apart. A couple days before November 25th, there was a howling wind and rainstorm on Thanksgiving Day. And finally, on November 25th, 2,790 feet of the bridge sank. The Nisqually earthquake occurred on February 28, 2001. This is one of Washington's most famous earthquakes. It's also the most recent one. The total damage was $1 to $4 billion. 1 person died of a heart attack and 400 were injured. The epicenter was located near Olympia. The scariest video of the earthquake was when the Space Needle was shaking. You can even hear it rumbling.
And listen to what the Space Needle sounded like at Seattle's most famous landmark, getting quite a scare today. What you just heard is the noise that was made from the base of the needle during today's quake. Right after it hit, 30 people were stuck on the observation deck in the elevators as well for about a half an hour. They stayed up there while crews checked to make sure those elevators were okay to come down.